Happy Crafters Day, everybody! This is Stephanie, the hands, hair, and heart of CornerstoneCreate.com. Thanks for being here with me today. Welcome to my YouTube channel and blog. I'm going to be using the embossed resist technique today, and I'm going to jump right into it. I'm powdering my paper with my anti-static tool just to make sure that when I put my embossing powder down, that I don't get any stray pieces of embossing powder or anything else that's going to ruin the image that I want to have on my card. I'm using the Mother's Love stamp set from Altenew. It's a small 2x3 stamp set, and I'm really loving these small stamp sets. You know, a lot of people can't get a lot of use out of these because they're so small and they don't give you the option to do a lot of scene building. But I really like these. They really grow your creativity because they are so limited. I'm inking up my stamp with Versamark. It's a clear watermark ink. I'm just doing this so that it can hold the embossing powder when I want to go and emboss my image. I realize my stamp pad is a little dirty, and that gives me a little bit of advantage on white paper because I can see what I'm doing, and I know that I'm going over this with a white embossing powder, so I know you're not going to see it on the other end. Now maybe if I was heat embossing with some clear heat embossing powder, that would be a problem, but since I'm just going over in clear, it doesn't bother me much. If you'll also notice, you'll see me stamping on this blue paper. I think I'm going to start stamping on top of something in my platform just because it makes it a little bit easier. My desk isn't 100% even, so sometimes it's hard for me to press on my desk and get a nice smooth image. So that little piece of paper just gives me that much help to get me cleaner, crisper images without having to do a whole bunch of stamp CPR. Next, I'm using my Wagner heat tool to melt that embossing powder. I love seeing the image disappear on the page, but that kind of only really happens if you're using clear or either white embossing powder on white paper or black embossing powder on black paper. But I don't know, maybe it's just something that I like, or maybe I'm just weird and odd like that. I don't know if anybody else is noticing. Let me put this stamp set up before I lose it, because I know I'm super good for losing things on my desk and never finding them again. Or what's worse, one of my kids will find them and I'll never see it again. Or maybe I'll see it in a week later. But yeah, funny story, I lost one of my mini ink blenders and I said, I'm not going to buy another one. I'm going to find the one that I lost and I'm going to use it. So that whole week, I tried to do all these techniques, and then my mind kept wanting to do ink blending techniques because I could not focus on it. And I was just like, you know what? Forget this. And this is how you can tell that I don't go into the kitchen too often, because as soon as I went into the kitchen, where was it? On top of the freezer. How it got in there, I don't know, because my kids are too short to get up there. It was me. I know it had to been me, but yeah, that totally threw me off in my crafting for about a week, trying to do a whole bunch of stuff that had nothing to do with ink blending. On this card, I'm picking kind of like one spot and one area to start off on. When you're doing ink blending, and especially when you're doing ink blending with regular ink cubes and not like a distress oxide, you want to normally start off the paper, but I know that I'm going to be using one of my Pink and Main frame dies, well, not frame dies, but one of my Pink and Main stitched rectangle dies to kind of like get the area that I want, or just cut out the area that I want to use. So this is kind of off my paper, but yeah, I'm not going to be using that corner over there where you can see that it's really dark and the circle is there. I started my ink blending off with soft lilac, and I really like soft lilac, but it's hard to see and it's just barely lighter than white paper. So I wanted to darken it up a little bit and use deep iris. And then once I started using deep iris, I was thinking, well, let me get some gradients flowing in here. So I'm going to use some other colors as well. As I'm building this color up, I kind of want to update you on the month of July and how that wound up going for me. I realized that I kind of left y'all on a cliffhanger and I need to kind of go back and explain. So I'm looking for a new job, but I'm trying to stay in the organization that I'm in. Like, it's really close to my house. You know, I've been there for a while. I kind of just want to do something new, so Yeah, that's what it is. I just want to do something new and get out of my direct organization and go somewhere else in the company. I talked to I talked to a supervisor where I would have liked to have gone, and they said, yeah, 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 we got space for you, we'd love to have you, but can we talk to your supervisor? And this is what gave me pause, because I know where I work, and the people that I work with can be super petty. And I know it would be a problem if I was looking for somewhere else because my job also deals heavily with attrition. We can't keep people. Like, people keep leaving and going other places. So, they kind of get in their feelings a little bit when you say you want to leave. So, I try to avoid this as much as I can. So I just wanted to make sure that there was a space for me if available. They said, they would never give me a super definite yes, but I was kind of comfortable enough to be like, okay, well, let me tell my supervisor. So I tell my supervisor, and he says that he's going to speak to the people and, they're going to do all their talking. And I'm thinking, great, I can get out of here at the end of this month. And it falls through. All of a sudden, they talk to my supervisor, and no, we don't have any space available. We took on too many people. Uh, yeah. So I'm just like, okay, well, I know this is trash. This is absolute trash. Because the thing that happened that I didn't want to happen has happened. My supervisor knows that I want to leave, and I know he's going to be petty. So the jury is still out as to whether what my future is with this company. I really would like to do something different. I've been doing this same thing for like years now. And, like, I don't know, it's just time to move on. That's what it is. And I'll update y'all on when and if I get to another place. It's kind of like we're at the end of the Batman show, and like, will Stephanie get a new job? Will she find more fulfillment in her next position? That's pretty much where I'm at right now. Like, I really want just one of those story montages to come over and just like montage my life. Can we get Ayanla in here and just like get a new TV show and say Ayanla montage my life? Something. So back to this card. I'm going to use the solid leaf to kind of just give a dark impression with those flowers that are up there. I just thought it was a nice added little touch. Then I'm going to stamp my sentiment using VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Nice, crisp, super dark ink, very easy to stamp. And I'm just going to put my sentiment up there, which is Mother's Love is Precious. It's like the only sentiment that's up there. But you wouldn't believe how long it took me to actually get that on the paper and get it to not stick to my ruler. I used my Wink of Stella pen to kind of like put it up there. I tried to use a safety pen, tried to use some fingernail clippers, tried to use a lot of stuff, and then I wound up just powdering it with my anti-static tool just to get some of that stick off, and that kind of helped out a little bit. Not as much as I wanted it to, but I think I just had to play around with it a little bit to get the stick off so that it would stay where I was wanting it to stay. I decided I wanted to do some ink blending on my actual card front, and honestly, after I put the tape down and took the tape off, after I did the blending, this could have been a card by itself, and it probably will be a card by itself. I'm going to make some cards, but I put my masking tape down after I heavily like put it on some fabric and took a lot of the stick off, and then I decided I was going to do some ink blending. And I'm doing this with Deep Iris again before I blend into Lavender Fields going up. To help me out with my blending, I'm using a card that I messed up on, which, I probably should have used that card for other things, like maybe see if I could die cut something out of it. I really should be trying to save on craft supplies and not just totally throw something away because it didn't work the way I thought it was going to work. That card totally could have been used for paper or something, but I don't know. Sometimes I just get into the point where my desk is so messy, I just pull something to use it, and I don't even think about other ways that I could use it at that point in time, and then I just throw everything away because it's in my way and it's on the table and it's making my whole craft area look really super dirty. Like, my craft area is somewhere is a pretty common walk through in the house. So if it gets dirty, then it just makes, well, not dirty, if it gets cluttered, it makes the house look cluttered. So I just get into super clean mode and just get rid of it. So that's why I use that card. And I have like 3 of them because I messed this piece up so many times. I 2 times I peeled the tape off too fast and paper came up, and then another time my ink blender rolled on it, so I had this big circle. I mean, that circle was kind of cute, and I probably could have used it, but I didn't think about it at the time, but I'll get better. Now I'm going in with Midnight Lilac, and I'm going to stamp some small leaves into this ink blended area. I don't really have any kind of flow or pattern or rhyme or reason to this. I'm just making sure that all the leaves are kind of pointing up so that it looks a little like I thought about what I was doing. And then I'm going to peel the masking tape off very slowly, because even though I did everything that I could to make sure that this didn't stick too much, it still needed to stick a little bit so that it wouldn't come up while it's blending. So I'm going to very slowly and very cautiously peel this masking tape up. As I'm recording this video, like, I normally get up super early in the morning to do this, and I'm normally a very early person, but my children are probably starting to develop my early morning person habits, and my 2-year-old, she's like doing the cutest right now. So she asked me for milk, and then she has her pacifier, which she needs to get rid of, but I go in there, I make her some milk, and she's like, okay. She just holds the milk, looks at me, and like gives me this most darling, angelic face ever. It says, thank you. And I'm just like, oh my God, my heart melts. Like, this is my child. And then she just casually walks away. And I'm like, where are you going? Where are you going, small child? She's just going back into the bedroom to lay herself down. I don't know what I did to deserve such a wonderful and blessed child. Like, this totally isn't the same kid that threw my embossing powders and mixed them all up in a big pile on my crafting table and on my floor. That's not that same kid at all. I don't know who that kid is. I like this kid that's right here. Now that I'm done with my ink blending and peeling up that tape mask, I'm going to go ahead and glue down this front part. Now, around this point is where I was asking people on Instagram for help. Like, if y'all don't remember that post, here it is. It was crazy. Like, I had this horrible like crafter's block. I could not figure out what I wanted to do with this. So I took some of y'all's suggestions and I added a couple of things, and it came out to be a great card, and I really thank you. Matter of fact, after that kind of happened, I went on to post some more cards using suggestions y'all gave me. Like, I watercolored some watercolor paper with some of my Hero Arts stamp sets, and just kind of went to town with it. You know, put a little bit of glitter here, some sequins, just did my thing. So I really thank y'all for helping me get out of that block, get out of that little funky funk. So I want to draw in some more black into this card, because I have the black sentiment and then I have the black cardstock, but it wasn't really doing it for me. So I chose some black enamel dots to put on the bottom to kind of draw in a little bit more of that black and make it seem more purposeful rather than it was just there. So I'm using that. Then I'm going to go in with my Wink and Stella to give the card a little bit of shimmer. Now I'm only going to put the shimmer inside of the leaf petals, but I'm not going to fill the leaf petals up with shimmer. I just want to touch the paper a little bit, put a little bit of shimmer there, just enough to catch your eye, but not overwhelm it. My 2-year-old is totally sitting on the couch causing no problems. I don't know what's going on, why she's being so cooperative today, but I'm loving it. And now that that's done, I'm going to do some decorating with my white gel pen. Just a little bit of accents and kind of draw in different elements of the card from that top part to the bottom part, just to make it look more cohesive. Thanks for watching. I'll have more information on my blog, www.cornerstone.com. Make sure you visit me over there and subscribe. And while you're here, follow me on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell to make sure that you get notifications. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.